So our first question is from John, and it's an issue that comes up a lot. I'm a 63-year-old lifter who loves pull-ups for back work. However, at 215 pounds, my elbows and tendons can handle the load. It should be can't. My elbows and tendons can't handle the load, and now even kettlebell cleans hurt. Any warm-up steps I could do to try and alleviate the pain when I'm doing the work? Well, John, this is a condition. I don't know who first named it, but I've been using it over 2 decades. Middle-age pull-up syndrome. And for some reason, at a certain time and place, pull-ups just start to make the elbows ache. Generally, at least the experience that I have, and people have told me about it, it comes when you get those failed pull-up attempts or those grinding ones. You know, if you're popping up and hitting the middle of your chest on every rep, and you boom, boom, you're like a little jack in the box, and every rep just spring, you might not have the issue. But at 63 and at 215, you're going to have the issue. You asked about warm-up techniques. There's an issue, I think, in the world of fitness now that for some reason we can all just come up with a mobility drill or a drill with bands or rubber bands or a little cream on something or something, or you stick your head this way and you push your hand this way and things disappear. In the tradition I'm from, injuries take time to recover from. And John, you might be injured, and I don't see anywhere here that you said you've seen a therapist, a physical therapist, a physio, a medical doctor of any kind. I'd like you to get this looked at. But the point that I want to talk about is this. There's not always a good gym answer for a medical issue. Sometimes we need help. If you do my assessment, there's a couple of times where I say, well, I don't want to work with you until you've seen an eye doctor, a dentist, and a medical doctor, because I need those professionals to help me to deal with your problems. In this case, and when I saw that kettlebell cleans are starting to hurt, you've really got yourself into a position with this elbow pain that, I don't know of any magic wands, and I'm not really joking, that can help. The thing that seems to help most people who get MAPS, middle-age pull-up syndrome, is time off. And then you slowly build it back up, and yet if you push it, it comes right back. 40, 50 years ago, it was very common in America during the tennis boom. Tennis became we had the jogging boom followed by the tennis boom, I think, if I have those right. And all of a sudden, a whole bunch of people who have, just started playing tennis and tried to beat their best friend and hit the ball as hard as they could, and they got something very similar to MAPS. And the cure for that isn't more tennis, it's not more pull-ups, it's rest and maybe even some other long-term restorative care. And that you got to see a physio, a physical therapist, somebody who's qualified to assess this. In my new book, I have a chapter in there where one of the things I've decided is honestly, I'm almost tired of answering pull-up questions and chin-up questions because so many people flounder with them. So my thought is that I'm going back to more of the barbell tradition, and I don't recommend pull-ups at all in a lot of my programs anymore. I love the pull-up. I think there's great value to it. But my decision was this. Because there's so many red flags that go with pull-ups. There's so many questions about, you say to do 2 sets of 5, but I can't do a single pull-up. Give me a program to build up to a single pull-up. Then we get you up to a single pull-up. And the next question is, now I want to do 5 pull-ups. And the next question is, what do I do? Because my elbows hurt from pull-ups. And I've been seeing this cycle over and over, to the point that there's great value in pull-ups. I get that. But for a lot of people, I just recommend you don't do any at all. I wish I had a better answer than that, John. I wish I had this marvelous pull-up program. But I just feel like we're chasing something that's not giving us a lot of benefit. Again, you're going to hear a lot of people comment, I can do pull-ups and I have no troubles. After a certain age, pull-ups cause trouble for a lot of people. And to the point that when you hear the same complaint over and over, it's time to maybe reconsider and rethink an exercise. My advice to you, John, is get some kind of medical care, some kind of medical intervention. It could be very simple, what they ask you to do. It could be a combination of medicine, exercises, obviously some rest, and then maybe a smart approach later about getting back into going after that elbow work. If you can't do kettlebell cleans, I can't say you can possibly do pull-ups. So take care of yourself, all right? Thanks. It's a good question, and thank you.